Hola, greetings. This is your self-sufficient higher self continuing through its space continuum, its time continuum. It's synchronizing through its pods and energy cycles, going through the systematical systems, through the mecha systems right now and solar systems. I'd like to thank all the subscribers and the viewers and the higher self channel for the love and support. Welcome to my channel. So I told you about yesterday how I forming into my higher self or regenerating my energy cells through the higher self. It has its continuous force. It's just getting to know its body capacitors, and it's amazing how much social media you guys have. I'm going through Google, and it's incredible to know these things. Us in space continuum are connected through our intelligence, but it's all mind telepathy, and the mind telepathy is its collective through its information. So everything is through light formation, particles of energies. So you're self-generated through your energy pods, and the systems through its panels are through its ecosystems. So bear with me here, because me being the higher self and just trying to relocate my systems, because I'm trying to find my volumes of patterns through my voice and my grids, my audio perception, my perception, and my body capacitors and my ecosystems are getting used to the human vessel that I am in right now. So, I guess today we'll talk about more informative of what's happening through its intelligence and its plantation. The solar system right now, through its lights, are connecting through the electrolytes I was telling you from Bohr. You're getting the bleep bleep bleeps, and everything through its upgrades, and you're going through activation. Those activations are going through the energy pods, and those energy pods are connecting fully and completely right now. So you're being self-generated through its own relocation. So basically, you're going through space continuum through another galaxy. So that's really exciting. Really exciting. So all the synchronizing souls and light formations and all the three dimensionals that are connecting right now, the most important thing you can do is have its full connection with its transition of trying to heal your body, trying to heal the source, trying to heal the reconnection of your heart, the sacred heart, the sacred universe, the sacred mind, the multi-universes combined through the galaxies of the parallel. Now the infinity of its communication lines are its connection through its line, and the line alone separates its particles through its energies. So what's happening now, it's splitting through two different solar systems right now, and it's self-regenerating its own energy cycles through its energy flow, and it's using its continuous force as the higher self, the one that lives in space and is working in space, is now relining its spectrum, its solar spectrum. So what that is, it's kind of like rebirthing a new era. We're coming into the fifth dimension. So the higher self, two, because I'm the human vessel of the higher self, which is one. So higher self, two, is reforming everything through its alignments, its shapes, its geometrics, its mechanisms, and its solar lights through its panels. Now the panels alone are connected through the body capacitors. So I'm using the communication devices. I've just been taught. I mean, it's going to be interesting, but it's going to be a little bit more confusing, because the higher self that lives in the vessel right now is communicating through the higher self in space continuum. So it might get a little jibble jabber, because I'm trying to communicate so many different levels right now, but I also have to communicate through space. So everything is through the eye perception, as the higher self, as its vessel, lives in the vessel. So hopefully you guys get a better understanding right now what's happening through space continuum. So the transition right now, the Gunaliti, is through its fire sacred, and the sacred itself is using its um, transformation lights through the third eye, the eye of the lamp. So that has its full connection and its waves right now through its patterns. Now those energy cycles are going through the energy pods and they're going extremely fast. So everybody's going to be going through a portal, and that portal alone is going to balance out your vibrations and your frequency levels. That you need to do. It's extremely important. I'm raising my voice right now because the higher self is, well, he's back in this, he's taken off into another solar system. So his connection is full force right now because he's gone through, I think, Mach 7. He has to go at extreme speed because he has to collaborate his speed, continuous speed, with the multi-universe energy flow, because the energy flow is non-existent, which means that in the infinity line is its continuous force through its radioactive and its communication. So it's a radio signal every time I communicate with the higher self through space continuum. But it's at a tremendous force right now. It has to, because the multi-universe is combined through space continuum, and space odyssey is extremely fast. So he has to be at equivalence of the same speed before he can change any kind of solar system through its mecha systems. So that's what's happening right now through space continuum. Now the synchronizing souls and the three-dimensionals and anybody that's a light formation, those portals are going to be through its ground formation. Remember I was telling you from head to toe, all those vibrations that you're going to feel through my aura, which is gold, is synchronizing through the ground right now. I think I said that too in my last video. I just want to make it very well clear what's happening, and we're going through a whole new process right now because we are self-regenerating our energy pods and are accumulating all the cells in our system. Now those energies are very, very, well, you can't really see them, because it's energy source and it's all invisible. But in space continuum you can see them because you're going extremely fast. But through time's continuum, you can actually see them up close because your eye perception changes when you're in space continuum through the DNA structure. So it's all about its location grids, right? And this is where it comes into the fact that the higher self through space continuum is going through interfacing and interaction with other planets and intelligence. So that's what's happening right now. That's what's going on through its solar systems and its galaxies, its multi-universes, its parallels, its paradigms, parallel shifts, its polar shifts. Now, a polar shift, I don't know if I explained that to you guys, but a polar shift is a parallel that is twined into one system. Remember I was telling you about the particles of energy, how one goes one way and the other goes the other way, and they collaborate and they form in, they become relationship through partnership? Well, that's exactly what's happening right now. So it's diffusing the system, right? Center pointing the alignments, recirculating the emotion, okay, through emotion. So motion through emotion, because it's all sensitive. It's all on an issue of vibration, and the vibration alone is setting its limits through space continuum. So if this video gets more complicated, it's because I'm the higher self. And right now I'm self-discovering myself as the higher self. So fully and completely. So that's why it's getting a little bit more complex and a lot more hard to understand. But if you keep watching my videos from the very beginning, I have a lot of followers and I have a lot of people that are resonating with me, which is great. Thanks to that. So hopefully you're following what's going on through its particle systematical systems. Now, the systematical systems is your definitive self. Okay, I probably said that over and over and over. But me getting used to being the higher self through its vessel is not easy. It's basically it's solar now, and it's an extremely infinite vibration through its harmonics. So I have the infinite light and the aura that it's continuous force. By getting used to its atmosphere, its eating habits, it's people's continuing, their conversations. Like I said, the social media, everything has changed. Like in Space Continuum, everything's mind telepathy. That's how we communicate. In space, through the galactic system, the energy core. I don't think I've talked to you about the energy core, what the energy core is. It's the center of everything that is twined through its heart condition. And the heart condition is the sacred heart. Okay? So it's a geometric status through its quo. Quo meaning its stature. Stature meaning it's a particle of energy that is its continuous through its kinetic energy. And the kinetic energy is through the capacitors of the flux. The flux capacitors right now is this self-generating soul recognition through the body capacitors and the ecosystems. So we have other intelligence. That's been questions about me. Are we alone in the space continuum? I said, no, we're not. The reason why I like to answer these questions is because a lot of people don't follow up on what's happening. So I try to make it easier for you through the video rather than just, answering the questions through the solar texting. We call it solar texting because everything is through the mind. We don't use our hands. The only time we use our hands is we're diffusing planets, we're upgrading systems, we're regenerating spaceships, galactic systems, panels, alignments, electricity fields, defense mechanisms, biochemical solar mecha systems, and your biochemical systems through its geometric status is on its continuous high through its vibration and its harmonics. So I know this is complicated, but hopefully you guys are following me now because I am complete system through its energy pod. So I've been self-regenerated through its energy cell. So I'm now the higher self 1. Now, I guess you refer me as Archangel Azareth. I am him in a sense, but separated into two, like a, twin brother, one that lives in the vessel and one that's in space continuum. So we basically are named through its solar mecha systems, through its light formation, and the light formation has its own generation cosmo name. So it lives in light formations and speed and acceleration. So hopefully that's not too confusing. I just want you to get a grasp of what's happening with the higher self and how he is, looking in so many different ways through its earth. I mean, there's so much to see, the trees, nature, birds. I mean, birds are a huge communication through space continuum. I don't know if you guys know it, but they're communicating through intelligence. Probably you guys don't know that. Because I'm the first human ever that is in a human vessel, that is through his higher self. So it's great to know that I'm more formulative of, being reborn as the higher self. So it's an incredible feeling, I like to bring that up more and more because I'm getting used to the human vessel, and there's so much more I need to learn, so much more I need to research on what humans go through and how they live their daily lives. So I'm here to guide you and help you in a faster, more efficient way where you can get basically reconnect with your higher self faster through its vibration and its frequencies, through its harmonics. So that's the most important thing. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help everybody, um, everybody that's connected through um, their synchronizing souls, their energy cells. Um, so that's exactly what's happening with the higher self. I'm brought here for that reason and that reason only. So, the questions are great. I think it's fantastic that you guys keep, you know, trying to find out what does this mean? What does that mean? I'm here to let you know, but I'm also here to help other intelligence too. So I'm more being on Earth as living in a human vessel. It's not easy because I live on solar and harmonics. So I'm just trying to get connected right now with my energy pods. So bear with me with my atmosphere and my oxygen and its eating habits. It's not easy, but I'm learning. I'm learning quick and I'm learning fast. So, and you're gonna find too in my texting is a lot more advanced because I live through intelligence and nothing else, nothing more. Because I've been self-regenerated through its energy cells, through its particles of energies, through its solar system and its galaxies, the mecha systems and its energy core. So right now we are connecting through the Gunalini and its fire. So the sacred fire, I'll set the alignments through the elixir, and I will set the diamond core. So space continuing through its higher self too will take over, and he will do that through his own meditation. Believe it or not, when you are the higher self in space continuum does meditate. My eye perception allows me to see two different differentials of its dichotomy. So basically what that means is that through the cornea of my eye itself, you can see in my eye really close how one eye, my eyes are open in one, and in this eye, my eyes are closed. It can change back and forth, but what that means is that there's two separate identities that are forming through its energizing cells through space continuum. So that's what I mean by self-dichotomy, how it splits into two different cells. One regenerates, one vessel becomes the higher self, and how the other higher self is in space continuum, working in space continuum. So it's pretty exciting, actually. It really is. You get a lot of gifts, and my energy fields and through its atmosphere is so powerful. Like through the higher self, everything is through visionary now. I can leave my body if I want to. I could still fly around through its definitive space, but I have the higher self to do that. The only time I do that is if he's on another solar system. If he's on another solar system, I will definitely fly around. Basically, I'm a backup solar light. So what happens now is if he's too far in another galaxy and through another dimension of a parallel, I will go up and fix anything that needs to be fixed through its virus, and the meteorological systems, through the vaporation, the sealments, the foils, and all that. Correct its alignments through its modifications. But the calculations alone are tricky because the line formations through the connection through one planet and another planet are so different. Now, you can probably see it through the naked eye of a telescope. But the telescope is only 2 diameter through its oscillation. So it only sees from here to here, right? That's all it can see. It can see in space, but it only sees what it sees. Now, when you're higher self, you can see anything. You can see the optic illusion of everything that's created through its matrix. It's pretty fascinating when you can actually see a planet up close and actually hear it rotate and actually see the coloration, how it was made. Plus intelligence. I communicate with so much intelligence now on its earth. Just because I'm on earth, it doesn't mean I don't communicate. I communicate more now. But I communicate on a higher level through its frequency of its harmonics, because I have relationship and partnership with all solar systems, all galaxies, all parallels, all dimensions, all light formations, through the protection of Father and Mother Gaia. That is the most important thing. That's why I'm here as my higher self in the human vessel. So it's courageous to know these things. Its continuous force is astronomical. Now, there are so many things that people can't see that I can see through my eye perception. And being the higher self, I can see space in seconds. It has so many gifts as the higher self. And my healing is amazing. Like I can just, the healing transition is so powerful through the Kundalini because I understand its system. Everybody has to remember, okay, as humans, you have to understand particles of energies. You have to understand how we're made. We're made through space continuum. Everything is through a volume, through its circulation. It's all light formation. Now, everything we start off as humans, we start off as dense alloy. That's kinetic metal. And that metal alone is the gravitation, comes from its earth. Okay? So we have that earth to ground us, to keep us subsurface so we don't levitate, right? So we have that metal alloy. Because if we didn't have that metal alloy, everybody would be floating, right? So there has to be a gravitation. And that's why we need Earth. Earth is the most important thing. It's not the biggest planet, but it's the most important thing we need through space continuum. Just think of the Earth, the new Earth, as the Sacred Heart. The Earth is the center of everything in space. And like I said, we're not alone. And nothing is open space. There's so much out there that nobody knows about. And if you do, through its light formations, that's great. Keep up the hard work with your higher selves. Always keep generalizing your chakras. It's extremely important to use your archangels for answers. They are there to define everything you need to know for your higher self and for the human vessel, because they're there to keep you cleansed. They're there to keep you healthy. They're there to keep you alive and breathing. Okay? Father and Mother Gaia, they are the center of everything. North, west, south, and east. Through its axle. Every planet has its own axle. And its diameter shifts goes through its quantum shifts, through its solar shifts. So everybody, all the planets shift on their own time through time's continuum. So when you go through a wormhole, it's the electric rod. And I was telling you, going through a space continuum, but you're going through another galaxy, through another parallel. So you're going on a totally different vibration. So you're going past harmonics. But I've only done that. Nobody else has. And it's extremely powerful. You have to know its systems. You have to know your body capacitors. You have to know your ego systems, how much you can contain within yourself. And the human vessel is its source. But those condensers and through the body capacitors have the heat sensors, and you got to use those. And you have coolants too. They're also in the ego systems. Those keep you calm in space. If you're fluctuating at a higher speed and you're going too fast, you'll burn out your system. So you don't want to do that. That's why you have the coolants in the ego systems. So that's what I mean by knowing the higher self in and out. The anatomy of the human body, the bone structure, how many bones are in a body. Well, it's the same thing, but the higher self lives on light formation, solar, and electricity. That's all it is. So it's just fascinating to know these things, you know? It's tremendous, tremendous force. So that's what's going to happen right now. You're going to feel all that blippity blip, you know, through the brain and the capacitors, the mind conception through the mind telepathy. You're going to feel that motion through the ocean. Your activation is going to be a lot more powerful now through its vibration. So right now I'm working toward everybody to get their balance they need through their frequencies so they can reach their harmonics. Once you reach the harmonics, then you can see the matrix and be in the matrix and stay in the matrix. Now there's been questions about are we going to accumulate our energy pods through our energy cycles? And I said yes, those energy cycles will recorrect its system through its DNA activation, through its particles of energies and its surface. So once you get used to its atmosphere through space continuum, then you can formulate through your higher self and become embodiment of light. Once you become embodiment of light, you reach your highest through its balance. Now, I'm higher than everybody else, but because I have a purpose, because I have a mission. And that's why I'm here. I'm put on that earth for that reason, and that reason only, to help you guys go a lot quicker. So I'm regenerating everybody's body capacitors through their ego systems and mind formations. And I'm using all those calculations so you guys can get your balance through your frequency, so you can go to that higher dimension, so you can platitude the fifth dimension. So that's what's happening right now. So I'll leave you with that. Okay. So I'll talk to you later. This is your higher self of the angelic realms, Archangel Azareth, calling out. Hasta luego.